A Sigma male will never beg for loyalty because loyalty to him is never proven by words. It's revealed in patterns. While others chase promises, he studies consistency. While most people confuse attention with loyalty, he knows true loyalty is quiet, steady, and tested in silence. You can't convince him with apologies or manipulate him with emotion. He's watching not what you say, but what you repeat. For him, loyalty isn't a request, it's a reflection. If he has to ask for it, it's already gone. Because the Sigma male understands something most people don't. Loyalty is instinctive. It's in how you speak about someone when they're not in the room, how you protect their name when they're not around, how your actions align when no one's watching. He doesn't demand it, he detects it. And once he sees disloyalty, he doesn't confront it, he disappears from it. That's what makes his loyalty so rare and powerful. It's not conditional, but it is selective. When he gives it, it's total. When he withdraws it, it's forever. Subscribe to UltraWise for more deep insights into Sigma psychology, emotional intelligence, and silent strength. And tell me in the comments, do you think loyalty should be tested or simply observed? Loyalty isn't declared, it's demonstrated. For the Sigma male, loyalty has never been about grand gestures or poetic promises. It's about patterns, the small, consistent choices that reveal where someone truly stands when no one is watching. Words are easy, he's learned that. People speak in declarations, vows, and emotional performances, but actions, they whisper the truth. That's why he doesn't chase loyalty, he observes it. He knows that someone's character isn't built in their best moments, but in the quiet ones when no one's keeping score. He's seen how people claim loyalty when it's convenient, when the relationship benefits them, when the connection makes them feel powerful or admired. But the moment things get difficult, when standing beside him costs them comfort or reputation, that's when true allegiance reveals itself. And he doesn't need to test anyone. Life does it for him. The way someone reacts to his silence, his success, or his solitude tells him everything he needs to know. That's why he never begs for loyalty. The moment you have to ask for it, it's already contaminated. True loyalty doesn't need reminders, it's instinctive, almost sacred. It shows up when it matters most. Not for attention, not for validation, but because it can't do otherwise. To the Sigma, loyalty isn't an emotion, it's integrity in motion. It's how someone treats your name in your absence, how they protect your truth when you're not there to defend it. When he gives loyalty, he gives it completely, quietly, fiercely, without needing recognition, and he expects nothing less in return. That's what makes betrayal cut so deeply. Not because he depended on anyone, but because he believed in their honor. He doesn't explode when loyalty breaks. He withdraws, observes the damage, and walks away, with silence that speaks louder than rage. To outsiders, it might look like detachment, but it's not. It's discernment. The Sigma male has simply learned that real loyalty doesn't need noise to exist. It proves itself in the dark, through consistency, respect, and truth. And when he finds it, he cherishes it. But when he doesn't, he lets go. Not in anger, but in clarity. Because for him, loyalty isn't something you promise. It's something you live. Actions over affection. The Sigma male has always been a man of quiet depth. He listens more than he speaks, observes more than he reacts, and measures people not by their words, but by their follow-through. Affection doesn't impress him anymore. He's seen too many smiles hide betrayal, too many kind words dissolve under pressure. To him, affection is momentary, a performance of emotion, but actions, they're eternal. They reveal who someone really is when the room goes silent, when no one is watching, when love becomes inconvenient. He's learned that people can say they care about you while slowly eroding your trust behind your back. They can claim to be loyal while doing just enough to keep your attention, but never enough to earn your respect. That's why the Sigma doesn't fall for charm. He studies patterns. If your words glow but your actions cast shadows, he'll notice. Every inconsistency, every small moment of self-interest, every time you choose comfort over integrity, he sees it. And when he does, he quietly starts pulling back, one step at a time, without announcement, without confrontation. He doesn't need dramatic proof of love. He needs consistency. He values the one who shows up when there's nothing to gain, who keeps promises that no one else remembers, who chooses truth over ego. That's affection in its purest form, not a grand declaration, but a steady presence. He knows that real loyalty is often unromantic. It's the text sent without motive, the small favor done without recognition, the defense made when you're not around to hear it. To him, love and loyalty can't exist without alignment. You can't claim one and neglect the other. So while others crave attention, the Sigma craves proof. Not through words, but through time, patience, and reliability. Affection fades, but integrity endures, and he builds his connections on that foundation. That's why his standards seem cold to some, because he doesn't confuse intensity with sincerity. He doesn't mistake loud emotion for genuine care. He's not interested in being adored for a moment. He wants to be respected for a lifetime. The Sigma male measures love, not by how loudly it's expressed, but by how quietly it's honored. And when your actions align with your words, he doesn't just notice, he stays. Observation as protection. The Sigma male doesn't rush to trust. He watches, not because he's paranoid, but because he's learned that people reveal everything if you give them enough silence. Observation is his first line of defense. The armor he wears in a world full of performers. He doesn't expose his heart quickly or speak to fill space. He lets people talk. Lets them show their patterns, their small inconsistencies, their unconscious tells. While others are busy trying to impress or control the narrative, he's quietly gathering data. Not judging, but understanding. He's been burned before by words that sounded sincere and eyes that looked honest, so now he relies on what can't be faked. Behavior. The tone that changes when you need something, the small hesitation before a lie, the way your energy shifts when he succeeds. He notices it all, not to keep score, but to protect his peace. Every conversation is a map, and every reaction tells him where loyalty begins and where it ends. She giggled. People mistake his quiet for detachment, but they couldn't be more wrong. His silence is engagement of the highest order. While they talk, he's reading emotional subtleties, tone, rhythm, choice of words. He doesn't need to confront dishonesty, he simply files it away. Because once the pattern is clear, he doesn't warn, he withdraws. No arguments, no accusations, just distance. Observation, for him, is survival. It's how he filters the genuine from the opportunistic, the constant from the conditional. It's how he avoids repeating lessons he's already learned the hard way. Trust, once broken, taught him that protecting his inner world isn't cruelty, it's intelligence. He no longer tries to see the best in everyone, he sees what's true and adjusts accordingly. When he finally lets someone in, it's because they've passed the quietest test in the world. Consistency under observation. No pretenses, no performances, just authenticity. And that's why when he gives trust, it's sacred, because it's not given lightly. The Sigma male doesn't observe to judge, he observes to protect the rarest thing he has, his peace. In a world of noise and masks, his stillness is his shield. And while others are distracted by words, he's already seen everything he needs to know in silence. The Energy Audit. A Sigma male doesn't measure relationships by words or promises. He measures them by energy. Every interaction tells him something. Who gives freely, who drains quietly, who only appears when it's convenient. To him, loyalty isn't just emotional, it's energetic. And he's learned that not everyone deserves access to his peace. That's why he performs what he calls an energy audit, not on paper, not in lists, but in the quiet observation of who replenishes him and who leaves him empty. He notices the subtleties others miss, the way someone's tone changes when he needs help, the way they go silent when he succeeds, the small pauses, the invisible shifts. He tracks them all because energy doesn't lie. It reveals who values him and who only values what he provides. He's learned that people who constantly take time, attention, validation rarely realize the cost they impose, but he does. And when the imbalance becomes too obvious to ignore, he doesn't confront it. He corrects it. He pulls back, quietly, without anger, no announcements, no explanations, just distance. He stops showing up where he's not appreciated, stops offering emotional labor where reciprocity doesn't exist. It's not revenge, it's rebalancing. He gives where energy flows both ways and retreats from where it only leaks, because for him, loyalty without balance isn't loyalty. It's dependence disguised as connection. This is the part most people misunderstand about the Sigma's detachment. They think he's cold, when in reality, he's conserving warmth. He knows his energy isn't infinite. Every time he invests in the wrong people, he drains a part of himself that could have gone into creation, purpose, or peace. So now, he protects it like gold. He doesn't seek validation from being needed anymore. He seeks alignment. He doesn't want people who keep him company. He wants people who keep him centered. The energy audit is his truth filter. Anyone who adds confusion, tension, or guilt is quietly removed. And what remains is a small circle of authenticity where loyalty doesn't have to be proven, it's felt. For the Sigma male, energy is the ultimate form of honesty. Words can deceive. Actions can perform. But energy? It always tells the truth. And he listens to it every time. The moment of quiet realization. There comes a moment for the Sigma male, not loud, not dramatic, when everything suddenly clicks. A quiet realization that the loyalty he thought was mutual was in truth one-sided. It doesn't happen in an argument or during a betrayal. It happens in silence, a small, almost invisible moment when he sees clearly for the first time. Maybe it's a text left unanswered when he needed someone most. Maybe it's the subtle indifference in someone's tone, or maybe it's simply the exhaustion of always being the one who shows up. Whatever form it takes, the moment feels like a door closing softly. No noise, no final words, just the still certainty that something pure has ended. He doesn't react with anger, he doesn't expose or accuse, he just sees. And once he sees, he can't unsee. That's the power of his awareness. It's permanent. The illusions of loyalty, affection, or shared understanding fall away, leaving behind only truth. It hurts, deeply, because he loved with depth and gave without keeping score. But that realization, as painful as it is, also frees him. It's the point where his loyalty shifts from others to himself. In that quiet moment, the Sigma reclaims his energy. He stops explaining why he deserves the same respect he gives. He stops chasing clarity from people who thrive in confusion. He stops mistaking effort for connection. It's not bitterness that follows, it's rebirth. He starts choosing silence over confrontation, peace over closure, and solitude over shallow company. To others, it looks like detachment. To him, it's awakening. Because that quiet realization teaches him something priceless. that loyalty, love, and respect can't be begged for or reasoned into existence. They either live in someone's nature or they don't. And the moment he sees that truth, he stops waiting for potential and starts honoring reality. The quiet realization changes him permanently. He becomes more selective, not colder, more discerning, not distant. It's the moment his empathy meets boundaries, his depth meets discipline, and from then on he no longer asks, "Who's loyal to me?" Instead he asks, "Who brings peace to my life?" Because now, he knows, loyalty without peace isn't love. It's a slow kind of loss. The detachment test. The Sigma male has a quiet way of finding out who truly stands with him. He steps back. No announcement, no explanation, no dramatic exit. Just distance. It's his silent test, the detachment test. Because he knows that loyalty isn't proven during good times, it's revealed in absence. When he stops calling first, stops initiating, stops holding the connection together, that's when the truth surfaces. Those who are genuine will notice the distance and reach back. The rest will vanish, confirming what he already suspected. He's not playing games. He's gathering truth. After years of overextending himself, of giving without receiving, of mistaking proximity for care, he's learned that stepping away is the only honest measurement of loyalty. If someone values him only when he's convenient, their silence will expose it. But if someone truly sees him, they'll feel his absence and move toward it, not away. It's never about punishing anyone. It's about observing who shows up when he stops carrying the weight alone. The detachment test is emotional surgery, quiet but precise. It cuts away illusions, leaving only the real connections intact. During this time, he watches closely, not out of suspicion, but awareness. Who checks in without reason? Who keeps the same tone when he has nothing to offer? Who notices the change but respects the space? These details tell him everything he needs to know. And yet, the test isn't easy for him. Detachment costs him peace before it gives him clarity. There are moments when he wonders if he's being too guarded, too cautious. But then he remembers the countless times he was loyal to those who never earned it. He remembers how draining it felt to explain his worth to people who only valued his presence when they needed something. So he stays silent. And in that silence, the truth always reveals itself. When the dust settles, his circle is smaller, but purer. The ones who remain are the ones who never needed proof, only presence. They're the ones who saw his quiet distance not as rejection, but as reflection. And that's the beauty of the detachment test. It never fails, because loyalty that fades with distance was never loyalty. It was convenience wearing commitment's mask, the invisible cutoff. When the Sigma male reaches his limit, there's no warning, no explosion, no confrontation, no long explanation, just silence. The invisible cutoff. It happens quietly, almost gently, but its finality is absolute. One day, he simply stops responding with the same warmth, stops explaining himself, stops showing up. To the other person, it feels sudden, confusing, maybe even cold. But what they don't realize is that he left long before he went silent. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the cutoff is never impulsive. It's the result of countless small disappointments, tiny betrayals, and unreciprocated efforts that built up until the only sane choice was distance. The Sigma doesn't announce his departure because he's done trying to be understood. He's learned that explanations rarely change behavior. They just extend suffering. So instead, he disappears in the quietest way possible. He stops investing where respect doesn't live, and he withdraws his energy like a tide retreating from the shore. No anger, no revenge, just absence. A clean, quiet, untraceable end. To those who lost him, the silence feels haunting. They replay conversations, searching for clues. For the moment, things shifted. But there's no single moment, just an accumulation of clarity. They'll call it ghosting, but it isn't. It's closure without permission. It's a man who gave too many chances, finally choosing peace over pain. For the Sigma, the invisible cutoff is sacred. It's not born from ego, but from evolution. He doesn't need to prove a point. His silence is the point. It's the moment he decides that his energy is too valuable to keep negotiating with disrespect. That his loyalty is not a gift to be misused. That staying would mean self-betrayal, and so he vanishes. Not because he stopped caring, but because he started caring for himself. His calm absence becomes louder than any confrontation could ever be. Over time, the people who lost him begin to realize that silence isn't emptiness. It's consequence. The invisible cutoff is the Sigma's way of saying everything without saying a word. It's not goodbye out of hate. It's goodbye out of love for his own peace. Because sometimes the strongest closure isn't spoken. It's lived in silence. A circle of earned loyalty. After all the silence, distance, and quiet endings, the Sigma male is left with something rare. A small, unshakable circle of earned loyalty. It's not built overnight, and it's not built through words. It's formed through time, honesty, and mutual respect. The kind that doesn't need to be constantly proven because it's lived every day. The people in his circle aren't perfect, but they're real. They've been tested by distance, misunderstanding, and the quiet seasons where most connections fade. And they stayed. That's what matters to him. Not popularity, not proximity, but presence. He's learned that loyalty isn't about who's there when life is easy. It's about who remains when the noise stops, when there's nothing to gain, when you're no longer useful to anyone's agenda. Those are the ones he keeps close. The ones who don't compete with his solitude but understand it, who don't demand his energy but respect it. His circle is small because loyalty, for him, isn't about quantity, it's about quality of spirit. Within that circle, his guard lowers. The man who once analyzed every word now listens without fear. The one who used silence as a shield now uses it as peace. Because here, loyalty isn't requested, it's reciprocated. He doesn't have to explain himself. He's understood. He doesn't have to prove his worth. It's recognized. In their company, he's not the Sigma, he's simply himself. And that's the quiet beauty of earned loyalty. It allows him to rest, to stop scanning for betrayal, to stop rehearsing exits in his mind. He can finally exhale, knowing that the ones who remain aren't there for what he provides, but for who he is. These are the people who match his integrity, who show up not because they have to, but because they want to. The Sigma male doesn't seek loyalty from the world anymore. He observes, filters, and builds slowly. Because once his circle is formed, it's impenetrable. Not by fame, manipulation, or temptation. It's protected by mutual trust and quiet truth. And in that sacred space, he finally finds what he was never willing to beg for. Loyalty that doesn't need to be tested because it's already earned. For the Sigma male, loyalty was never something to demand. It was something to witness. After all the noise, all the lessons, all the quiet exits, he understands now that loyalty can't be begged, borrowed, or forced. It's revealed in silence, proven in consistency, and earned through presence. He doesn't chase words anymore. He watches actions. He doesn't seek promises. He studies patterns. And once he sees the truth, he never needs to say a thing. His loyalty becomes rarer. His peace becomes sacred. And his circle becomes unbreakable. Because at the end of it all, he doesn't want people who say they're loyal. He wants people who show it when it matters. He knows that real loyalty doesn't sparkle in the spotlight, it stays steady in the shadows. And once he finds it, he guards it like gold. If this message resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to UltraWise for more deep insights into Sigma psychology, emotional mastery, and the art of silent strength. And tell me in the comments, do you believe loyalty should be proven through words or revealed through actions?